All right, let's get into it, my friends. So generational patterns basically means that when you were born into a specific generation, and depending upon what time you were born in history, it says a lot about you, the qualities that you embody, what you were going through when you kind of had your coming of age, and how that has shaped you for today. So there's no secret we're in a weird time. Okay, a couple days into now a recession, and we're going to be in this winter for a bit. But two reassuring facts I want to share with you. Again, this is not me. I just listened to that podcast, so I got a lot of juicy intel. But reassuring fact number one is there is a 4-stage cycle that repeats about every 80 to 100 years. So, history repeats itself. That is a phrase that we've heard often. And you see that in fashion, you see that in language style, and you see that in our world and what is happening in our societies. And so the average length of a human life is about 80 to 100 years. Also, you can think of it as like a saccalum. I think it's called saculum, something like that. But basically, that's the word to represent a human life. And they say that there are 4 things that happen, 4 stages that happen throughout a human being's life. Now, listen to this. There is the high, okay, like economy booming, things are going great. There is an awakening, there is an unraveling, and then it really results in a crisis, which is kind of the stage that we are in right now. But after a crisis, we go back to the high, okay, the stage of creation. And so the reason I share that with you is that we can always understand based on what stage we were in before, what is coming up next. So we've known based on history that a crisis is coming, be it a pandemic, be it the oil, be it whatever it is, we are experiencing a stage in our life with this kind of recession right now where we are hitting the crisis. Now, if you are a millennial, you were born into an age range where you didn't experience truly that 2008 hit like some of the generations prior to us. So some of you are about to hit your second crisis in your lifespan. Some of you are hitting your first. Some of you are hitting multiple. So depending on when you were born puts you into a certain generational, structure of when you're experiencing these cycles, if you will. The quote that I'd love for you to type up really quick right now, if your fingers are fast enough, is that nothing is permanent and nothing is pervasive. Tony explains this often. He says that these patterns or these cycles, they're coming and they're going, the yin and the yang. So as we live through a crisis, you have to remember that like this too shall pass. This winter right now will be followed by a high, something booming. There's going to be a lot of creation, a lot of newness, a lot of joy. Nothing is permanent, nothing is pervasive. So that is fact number one, is that the 4-step cycle exists. And this is not something that's shocking us. We are prepared for this. We knew that this was going to happen. The second reassuring fact that you should, and to number one, you should know that there's a high on the other side of this, okay? It's temporary, something good is coming. The second reassuring fact that we want you to be aware of and prepared for based on today is that right after a crisis, there's a high period, but more importantly, a creation and a restructuring, okay? Cycles of crisis catalyze massive economic, cultural, political, and institutional disruption. That's just the way that history has shown us what happens. And we, as a society, we solve problems we never thought we could before because of the challenge prevents an opportunity for more strategic thinking. Like after World War II, the massive boom in building economics, creation of financial economic institutions, infrastructure, cultural activities, experiences, so much good came after that. But it was obviously a stressful time. So number one, we're not shocked by the four phases. We know that these stages and these cycles are real. Fact number two, after a crisis, something incredible. So buckle up, stay put, don't freak out, stay calm, anticipate what you need to do to be successful. And what can this crisis mean for you? How is it shaping your character? How is it influencing your decisions? Springtime is going to come. So what will you enjoy then? What will be in your life? Where will you be in your life? Who will you be? Okay, how is your fear barometer now? And hopefully it has gone down. You feel a little less anxious, and hopefully you're being the creator of your life.